Gentle ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to this YouTube channel. This is Samuel Warago Sr., and this is where we gather. We collect gems of wisdom here and there, and then we use these gems of wisdom to inform our journey, to inform our way of navigating this terrain that we call life. Sit back, thank you so much, and let's go straight to our gem today. The gem that we have discovered comes from this book here. Remember, this is the Odyssey of Homer, and our major objective, our major intention in this journey is to go home. It's our journey home. And we are following two men, an old man and a young man, a father and his son. Both of them are going home, but of course from a different circumstance. But how will they meet? How will they meet? Both of them have been separated for 20 years. They don't know each other. But of course they know that each exists somewhere. What happens? So our gem today is from book 3. That's the gem. That's the gem. That is the gem of wisdom from book 3 of the Odyssey of Homer. And this was all by King Nestor to young Telemachus. That they had not all been either wise or understanding, and hence many came to a bad end. Remember, in the other video we say that young Telemachus have been advised by his mentor, who is mentor, to go out and seek and gather information about his own father. And this is what we find him having done. He has gone out with a team of 20 men to go to a place we call Pylos, to go and meet King Nestor. Thereafter, we see him going to Sparta, to King Menelaus, to go and also seek more information about his father. Because once you know where you have come from, you of course be able to know the way forward. That's why history is extremely important. You know where you are coming from to understand where you are in order to strategize about where you are going. So thank you so much. So they have not all been either wise or understanding, and hence many came to a bad end. And one of these is that we do not know whether Odysseus is part of what is being addressed here by King Nestor. Because as he explains, as this king explained to this young man, is that trouble began immediately after the war. Of course, they were fighting as a group. There were so many kings, so many men, so many of them. They fought. They fought in the Trojan War and they won. But then, after winning and having looted, because they were also not very good people, they were fighting as they were looting. All manner of things, all manner of properties, including women. So, after looting so many things, they had to make a decision to go home. But a decision on when to go home was the one that started their troubles. A half of the group wanted these people to go home immediately, to go and of course be reunited with their family members, including their own wives, and of course to see their own children. The other group wanted to remain, to buy some time, what some people call koleamori, just idling aloud. Now, so when this argument broke, of course it broke when they had called a meeting at a very bad time. a meeting in the evening when all these men were drunk. So what do you expect drunkards to do in terms of making decisions and making important resolutions? So they were divided. And so one group, the group that decided that it was good to start the journey immediately, actually did walk that journey the following day. And Odysseus was among them. The other group, of course, was left behind. So you can see already we have two groups here now. They are not talking in one language. They are not talking in unison. They are not united in terms of purpose. But now again, this group that left to go and, of course, be united with their own families, after journeying for quite some distance, there also arose another quarrel within itself. Then there were two groups. One group decided to proceed with the journey. The other group decided to go back and make peace with a group that had already decided to buy some time. And according to King Nestor, the group that went back was led by Odysseus. And the group that went home, this is where the King Nestor was, the one who is now narrating this story. So you can see that he has some story about the Odysseus, but he doesn't have all the information. And that is exactly now what happens in that. And now along the line, along that narration, this is where we get these words. And so from this, as we have been doing in the past, we take the three things that emerge from this gem of wisdom. This gem of wisdom. Very quickly, I mentioned them. There are three. One, leadership. We are going to mention something about leadership from this gem. Two, we are also going to mention something with timing. Timing in this gem of wisdom. Lastly but not least, we are going to talk about decision making as it has emerged from this gem of wisdom. Good. When it comes to leadership, we learn that it is good to be sober. It is good to be sober, especially when you are called upon to make some decisions. Now you can see this group was a bigger group initially. It divided itself into two because of disagreement. Then the other group, the other subdivisions, divided itself further. And this is where Odysseus got lost. Because of in that confusion, leadership. What type of a leader are you? How do you lead people? How do you convene meetings? Comes now, this is the second thing, our timing. Remember, this meeting was called when all these men were drunk. Again, remember, this meeting was called during sunset, in the evening, when people are, of course, tired. When do you convene a meeting as a leader? Think about it. Those are two things. The third thing that we ask ourselves in this, how do you make decisions? Decision making, especially whether you are a leader or whether you are just anybody who is interested in leading his or her own life well. How do you make your own decisions? What influences your decision? What influences your decision? Think about it. Think about those three things that have emerged from this gem of wisdom. What type of a leader are you? How do you time your decisions? How do you rule? And how do you make and alive a decision? What informs your own decisions? And having said that, we cannot conclude this whole thing without appreciating something about the character, about the personality of this young man Telemachus, especially when he comes to address kings. Remember, this young man is inexperienced. He has never in his life left home. He has never engaged in a very long conversation with the people in higher authority. And we see him exactly doing this. And of course, he amazes the kings. And the kings are saying, oh, they can see Odysseus in the son, in his son. The way he is talking, his speech, his mannerism, they can already see an Odysseus in his own son. This is the gift, the only gift that we can give to our parents. To be the best possible that we can be. If our parents are doing good, let's agree, let's allow ourselves to be influenced by their good decisions, by their good lives, so that we can also represent them well wherever we go. And make even our mothers proud. As somebody else was singing another time, which is very applicable in our case. Ndaheirwo kana gaka hehe oi igatheka goria wathekaga oi niko gatumaga ngoro yakwa holele ndona maitho mahana maku ngahorera. Yes, Penelope was living together with his son for 20 good years. She could only be singing this song every time she looked at her own son, and she remembered her own husband. Remember, they had not all been either wise or understanding, and hence many came to a bad end. So can you be wise? Can you seek to understand through any gems of wisdom that you come across? Have a nice time.